Hello everyone, welcome to the Calgary Language Learning and Exchange Club video channel. In this video, I am going to talk about the 3 ways to language exchange with a native speaker. So, if you are living in Calgary and you want to learn English or other languages, and also wanting to have a conversation partner to do proper language exchange, please join our group. Our Facebook page, the link is in the YouTube description below, as well as that the registration form for our group is within that Facebook page. And it's free. So if you are in Calgary and you are also learning languages in general, please join our group, and we would make sure that you would have the best experience by finding you a conversation partner and making sure that your language learning is a success. So now, before going forward, let's answer these questions. So now you have learned the basic grammar, basic sentence structures, some vocabulary, took on a few tests for the language that you want to learn. So are you eager to get fluent and learn more about the culture in which the language that you are learning? And did you just finally realize that classes and real life are 2 different things? I know, because I have learned a particular language for 2 years in the classroom, and I did study abroad as well. However, though, when I get to the country in which that language is the native language in that country, I realized that the language that is spoken in class seems to be very different than the language being spoken in real life. And I think the reason why is because in classroom setting, we often miss a lot of slangs, humor, casual speech, whereas in real life it's more on casual speech versus the more formal and grammatically correct speech and sentence structure that we are very, very accustomed to in classes. And if you say yes to 2 of these questions, I believe that you need to find ways to talk to native speakers more, because that's when you are going to learn how to speak in real life. So, what are the 3 best ways to talk to native speakers? So, now, if you are still in school, I would suggest that the best way to talk with native speakers is be involved in exchange student activities. Almost every school that I can think of, well, especially post-secondary like universities, have a bunch of exchange students, and they also have their own social club and have their own activities where all of these exchange students hang out together. Now, if you are involved in those exchange student activities, then you could quite possibly find native speakers that for the language that you want to learn. And in turn, then you could find yourself a conversation partner. Now, another way to do that if you're in school is be a member of some of those language clubs. Like if you are studying English, for instance, you go to the the English Student Society, for example, or if you're studying Japanese, you would go to Japanese Student Society or Japanese Language and Culture Club, etc. However, though, this is not as good as my first point for as being involved in exchange student activities, because that usually there are less native speakers there. I'm not saying that's going to be the case every time, but usually the odds are that um, the concentration of native speakers are actually lower than the exchange student society or club, and that is because they want to learn your language as well. But those student groups or student clubs usually are more focused on that particular language. Like, for example, if you have a Korean language society or Korean language club, then what is the focus of their group? Of course, it's speaking Korean. Now, for real Korean exchange students, I mean, like, would they be interested in speaking Korean? No, right? They actually wanted to probably speak what you speak in your native tongue instead. So that is why being in those student clubs might not be as effective as being involved in the actual exchange student activities. Now, of course, that is when you are actually studying in your home country. But if you're studying abroad, of course, that is different. Now, the second type or way to talk to native speaker is to join specific language meetup groups. As I have talked about in other videos, like you could go to meetup.com, and like, let's say if you want to learn French, then search up French conversation group, French language meetup group, etc., etc., and join those, participate in their activities. Usually what happens is it's going to be in a group setting again, and you would need to figure out who is the native speaker and try your best to talk to them as much as possible. Now, number 3 is that if you are in Calgary, I would welcome you to apply to our Calgary Language Learning and Exchange group on Facebook, in which the link you could find in the YouTube description below. It's free, and we are going to connect you with a language conversation partner that wants to learn your language, and you want to learn theirs, and with that, then we could establish a connection for you with a native speaker, so that you could have much more success in your language learning. And plus, it's free, and we are also going to host group events as well for people to mingle and break ice, as well as meeting with other language exchange members.